Hello students. So today we are going to start with our network designing lab, right? So if you go on the Moodle on the course page of network design lab 2021, right, so you will find out I have uploaded already the list of the experiments over there, right, and also the link for assignment for uploadation of whatever you have done in action number 1, right? So in this, if you see what are the different prerequisite for the first experiment, that is to install an Cisco packet tracer and prepare a network requirement document for allotted mini project topics, right? So already I have allotted a mini project topics to each of the group, right? So every group is having the 3 members in it, right? And project topic also you know already, right? So what you need to do is you need to find out first of all the network requirements for your project topic, right? So network requirement in terms of the technical requirement, the technical constraints, the organizational, whatever the topic you have, that organizational constraints and their different requirements you need to find out, right? And after that you need to document all these requirements in one document, right? And that you need to submit along with the installation steps for packet tracer, right, in this particular experiment, right? So for that the prerequisite what you require for to perform all this practical, right? So the first of all is the Linux software installation methods you just you require, right? For example, how the that particular Cisco packet tracer, whenever you are downloaded from the netcat website, right? So whatever if you see here in this image also, right? So the image is nothing but your the netcat network academy, right, the Cisco packet tracer, right? So from that you need to download that particular package. So you must know how to install that particular package, right? So for that how to install the Linux software, that you must know, right? Then the detailed knowledge about the networking, because see here for the while installation you must know all these kind of the networking commands and all that things, right? So that it will be helpful for you for the installation part, right? Then understanding the functionality of internet networking devices like switches, routers, and etc., right? So you must know what are the different functionality of each and every networking devices, because whenever you have installed all this Cisco packet tracer, right, so in that there are different internet networking components for that, and you must require to use that particular network components, right? So before use you must know what is the different functionality of each and every devices, right? And after that you must know the what are the different OSI layers and its functionality along with its advantages and disadvantages, right? So because whenever you are creating any kind of the topology, right, within that particular Cisco packet tracer, right, so you must understand what are the different OSI layers, what are their functionalities, right, and how these particular internet networking devices are used in which layer, right? So all these are basic understanding you must know, right? And all these we are already covered in our prerequisite chapter for this enterprise network design part, right? So if we move towards the so you all know now the what is the prerequisite and what is the objective of this particular experiment, right? So we will move towards this problem definition, right? So what you need to do is, right, so you need to install a 64-bit version of Cisco packet tracer on Ubuntu 18.04 OS, right? So and after that you need to just get overview of all these components, right? So whichever is there in the Cisco packet tracer, right? For example, routers, switches, hubs, end devices, right, the wireless media and all that things, right? So we will see one by one all the things, right? And after that you need to gather the requirements, right? So whatever given in this, if you read the problem statement, right, so you will easily understand what you need to do in this particular experiment, right? So you need to identify all the network design requirements, right? And in order to, and after gathering all these network requirements, you need to put it in one document, and that you need to submit in as experiment number 1, right? So these things you need to do in this particular experiment number 1. Okay, now we will move towards the theoretical concept, right, with respect to this particular experiment, and then we will perform this, right? So let's start. Okay, so if you go with the experiment number one, right? So whenever you see, right, so this particular Cisco packet tracer is nothing but the one simulation software, right, for your Cisco networking devices, right? And you know already the all the syllabus of your enterprise network design, right, is basically from the your Cisco's certification books, right? So whatever we need to perform, right, on we need to, for that we need to install this particular Cisco packet tracer itself, right? And also we need to configure different topologies, different logical topologies with the help of some internet networking devices into this particular Cisco packet tracer, right? So how to download that and how to install that, so I will explain you one by one, right? So if you so all this manual of this experiment is also I have uploaded on our course page of network design lab, right? So if you go with the step by step, right? So for that you need to first of all get registered with this particular Cisco Network Academy account, right? So website also I have given here, right? So you can you will find out one course with respect to this particular Cisco packet tracer also over there for Network Academy, free of cost, right? So before that you just go to the that particular this particular link netcat.com, right? And you just click on to download this particular packet tracer, right, as shown in the figure, right? If you see, enroll to download the packet as a tracer, right? And then if you are not having an account with respect to this netcat.com, then you need to sign up this, you need to register with netcat account, right? So because after installation of this particular packet tracer in your system, right, so it will be asked for your this particular sign in for your particular account, right, in order to use all the functionality of your Cisco packet tracer, right? So that's why you need to register with this particular netcat account before downloading itself, right? Then yes, you need to choose a language, like I am choosing here the English, right? Then you need to create an account, you need to give the necessary information which will be asked in this particular create account form, right? And after that you need to log in with this networking academy, right? And if you go in the resources tab, right, in that particular website, right, so you will find out there is a tab that is download the packet tracer, right? So from that you just download that particular package, right? So the version of that particular Cisco packet tracer currently now it is at 7.3, right? But we are not having much help with particular that packet tracer, right? So that's why I'm suggesting you to just download the packet tracer 7.2, right? So which is earlier a stable version for this particular packet tracer, right? And after that you just download the Linux desktop version, right? The 64-bit version you need to download, right? So the tar.gz, that is the compressed file, will be downloaded, right? So you just need to save that particular file, right? And after that what you need to do is you need to just install this particular packet tracer on the Ubuntu 18.04, right? And for that the whatever you downloaded, right, so it will be there in your download folder, right? And after that you need to uncompress that particular Cisco packet tracer, right? So because it is in uncompressed format, right? So with the help of tar command, right, so tar xvzf you need to uncompress this particular folder, right? And if you uncompress the folder, the packet tracer 7.2.1 folder is automatically get created into your download folder, right? After that you need to change the directory and just go to that particular folder, right? And just press here the /install, because it is a shell script, right? So all the installation steps over there in a shell script of install, right? So you need to just run that particular command /install, right? So it will be asked you for the EULA, that is nothing but the end user license agreement, right? So by just pressing enter for few times, it will be and just press the Y button, right, to you agree with this particular license agreement, right? So it will be ask you then your the default location where you wanted to install that particular package, right? So you just select a default location, or you just press the enter button to that, right? And whenever the process is completed, right, so maybe it will be asked for you for the some qt libraries are not installed, right, so it will be required for opening that particular packet tracer, right. So for that purpose you need to install some of the required prerequisite libraries, right. So by using this particular libqt webkit 5 command, you can install that prerequisite libraries, right, and just press y to install it into the terminal, right. And after successful installation of this particular packet tracer, yes, right, so if you just fire a command or the packet tracer on the terminal, right, so the packet tracer will be opened, right, and it will be asked you for the Cisco Network Academy login, right. So whatever you have registered with before, right, netcat account, right, so that you need to provide the credential here, right. So after that the packet tracer 7.2 would be installed on your system, right, so it will be opened, right. So if you see here, right, so the Cisco packet tracer is open, right, and whatever the first task, right, so what we have required, right, so that is nothing but the Cisco packet tracer installation on your system, so that we have done with, right. So and if you so I will show you this packet tracer again, right. So first of all we will complete this, then if you see here I have listed out some sample hospital network requirements, right. So what you need to do is I am giving here the one project topic, that is hospital network, right. So I have find out some requirements with respect to that, right, and what you need to do is you need to find out the requirement for your project topic, whatever I have assigned to you, right. So if you see the requirements, right, so I have listed here some structuring cable will be required, some high availability, some redundancy will be required, right, some IPsec private network for telework, right. So I am giving some of the security functionality also for to my particular network, right. So for that I am using here the IPsec. So for dynamic IP allocation I am using here some DSCP protocol, right. Then the scalable IP addressing scheme I am using some QoS capable equipments, right, like IP telephony and all that things, right. So with respect to the your organization or your network requirement, you need to find out all these things, right. So these are I have found it out for my hospital kind of the network, right, but you need to find out for your project topic, right. So this is your nothing but the first step for proceeding, right. So this is so this is all about with respect to your first experiment, right, that is nothing but your installation of Cisco packet tracer and your to finding out the network requirement for your mini project topic, right. So I will show you one that sample Cisco packet tracer environment, right. Just wait. Okay, so if you see in this particular Cisco packet tracer, right, so I have fired a command on a terminal, that's a packet tracer, right, and it will be get opened, right. So if you see this is nothing but the area which you are seeing as a plane, right. So this is nothing but your working space, right. So whatever the logical topology, if you see here the logical and physical is written, right. So whatever the logical topology you are going to create, so you need to create on this particular working space area, right. Then what are the internet networking components, right. So whatever you will see at the downside, right. So if you select this particular network devices, right, so here if you find the first one is the router, the second one is switches, then hub, then wireless devices are there, the security parameters there, and WAN emulations are there, right. So if you select the routers, right, then all the routers whatever available with this particular Cisco you will find out here, right, the 432.11934 likewise, right. So whichever you wanted to use, right, so you just drag and drop to this particular working space area, right. So it will be get over in your logical topology, right. So likewise if you go in the switches part, right, the second tab, then all the switches which are available with the Cisco's this particular packet tracer, they are available with you, right. So you just need to drag and drop into your working space, right? So in order to use that particular switch, right? So likewise, all the devices, if you click on each and every so you need to just go with all the devices. Yes, you just need to get overview, right? So what are the different devices are there, what are the different internet working devices are there in this particular area, right? So these are nothing the networking devices, right? Now if you go with the end devices, right, so just click on the second tab, right? So all the internet working devices will be there. For example, the PCs are there, the laptops which are there, then the different servers kind of their thing are there, yeah, right? So you just need to drag and drop into your working space here in order to use that particular internet working components, right? So not only the end devices, you are get different kind of the icons also over there with respect to your IoT and all that parts, right? So that also you can be used in this particular with respect to the smart city. Also you have some components. With respect to industrial, you have some components. With respect to some power grid, you have some components, right? Likewise, you have all these things. And then different component with respect to IoT, MCU board you have, SBC board you have, timing actuators you have, then sensors, different sensors you have, right? Generic sensor, humidity sensor, for sensor, photo sensor and all that thing, sound, temperature and all that things that you have, right? Then if for the connection part, you have and different types of the cables over here, right? The copper straight through cable. If you just go and the mouse over with all this particular component, then at the bottom up side you will find out the name, right? So just like here, the copper straight through cable it is, right? Then this is nothing but the copper crossover cable, right? Then this is serial DCE, right? This is serial DTE, right? Likewise, you need to use that particular cable, right? So for example, you need to connect all this particular router to switch, for example. Then I am here I am just selecting here the copper straight through cable, right? And just for the router, from for example the auxiliary to the switch, on the switch, this is nothing but the 24 port switch, right? So on this switch, on which port you need to connect with that, right? So I am just choosing the first one, right? So fast Ethernet 0/1 port, right? So this particular link, I have connected the router with the switch, right? The same thing I can connect with this particular router to this all this fast Ethernet 02 to this particular server, right? Again I have connected to this particular switch to this particular PCs as well, right? So likewise, you can connect all the internet working devices, right? So this is the thing, but the one of the simple topology you have created, right, with the help of some internet working devices by using some the medias, right, and some networking devices as well, right? But now for configuration each and every device, there is a different procedure, different ways are there, right? Through command line also you can do, from GUI also you can do, right? So that we will see in the next practical sessions, right? So this is nothing but the overview of the internet working and all the devices, right? These are the some fields, right? So for example, if you wanted to write something here, right, so you can see, you can write by with the help of some there is an option which we can call as notes, right? So by using these particular notes, you can type it here, so anywhere, right? And you can also able to move it anywhere whenever you will require it, right? Okay, so after that, there is you can use some triangle shape, then circular shape, right? So whatever you want, you can drag it from here and you can use it, right? So these are the some of the functionality which will be required in order to use this Cisco packet tracer, right? So so that's it for experiment number 1, right? So very simple experiment is there, right? So you I just summarize what you need to do is, right? So you just need to go to netcat.com, right? You need to register yourself for downloading that particular Cisco packet tracer, right? You need to download that Cisco packet tracer 64-bit version for your Linux operating system, right? You can use Windows as well, right, if you want, right? But most preferably we are using as a Linux on our college premises as well, right? So I am suggesting you to use with that particular thing, because in that case you will find out how to install in on the Linux operating system. Because on Windows you just need, that is nothing but the .exe file, you just need to click on next 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 and get installed, right? But in that Linux part, the some terminology, some commands you will familiar with, right? So I'm suggesting you to go with the Linux only, right? So download that version, then go to terminal and just that uncompressed version you need to that compressed version you need to get uncompressed, right? And after that just run that particular shell script, that /install one, right? And after that it will be asked for some permissions, and you just need to give it that permission with the yes, and the packet tracer will be get installed, right? Some dependencies if there, then that you need to resolve it, right? So all the steps are already given in the manual, right? And after that, if you fired in a terminal that the packet tracer, then the packet tracer will be get opened, right? And for that it will be asked you for the credentials of netcat, right? So that you need to provide whatever you have registered with it, right? So this is all about for your experiment number 1 with respect to installation of Cisco packet tracer, right? So that's it from my side. Thank you for joining.